Right. Hello and welcome to episode 63 of the Rhody Rumble podcast. Today I'm joined by graduate student and the newest guard of the Rhody women's basketball team, Sayawni Lassiter. Sayawni, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you taking the time again. I like to start with, how you've been preparing or, how your summer is going. So what have you been up to and, what ways are you preparing for Rhode Island this season?
Number one we're preparing is getting in shape. Coach Reiss and the coaches like to run and get the ball up in transition. So definitely making sure that I can sustain that, especially being the head of the snake at the point. So.
Yeah. Have you gotten the chance to go down to URI yet, practice with the team?
Yeah, so we practiced all of July. We had 5 weeks to where we were able to just get to know each other, aside from the people that were overseas playing with the national teams. That she allows them to play for their teams, which is in their countries, which is great. But just being able to just get the scheme of things and starting to learn to really see what she's looking for this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you just from watching her the last 3 seasons, I'm going into my senior year. So when she started at URI, I was coming in as a freshman. She really gives a lot of energy on the sideline, and you can tell that she wants to win, and she hasn't gotten that yet. We came close last year, so you're joining the program at a really good time. I feel like, and looking at this incoming class as well, with the last 3 Atlantic 10-6 women of the year joining the program this year, I think we're bound to be top of the conference. So I'm excited to see where we go from here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a question I love to start with, just with all the people that I've had on this show, is just what is your why or what motivates you?
I would say just trying to be the best at everything that you do, especially whether it's like the fastest to bring the groceries up the stairs, like being the best at everything, and making sure that whatever I can do and that's in my power, that's in my control, that I do that.
Yeah, 100%. So I want to get into a little bit of your background and then kind of move along into where you are now. You're originally from Massachusetts and you attended Newton North High School. So was it a no-brainer that you'd be returning to New England now and, to wrap up your collegiate career? Maybe you could just talk about growing up in the New England area and how you're returning now.
Yeah, I think I definitely like being closer to home. I've moved farther and farther up and closer to home as I've transitioned through college. But definitely being able to just have like my family with me, especially at the games, being able to support me. I have a little brother who plays hockey, so being able to go to his games and a lot of his tournaments and stuff are in Rhode Island actually. So being able to just be close to him and seeing him like as he's going through his journey as well is something that I like. So.
Yeah, 100%. Can you talk a little bit about, I guess, just growing up in Mass and, how you got into the sport of basketball? Was there sort of a coach or someone that helped you, pushed you along the way?
Yeah, so my uncle, he actually got me into basketball and my sister as well. So he started an AAU program called Boston Showstoppers for us when we were little. Started in 2007. So he started for us to be able to play basketball. And originally, I didn't even like basketball. I liked soccer at first. And so then they got me into it. And so I've just been playing ever since. But definitely my uncle and his ability to just be able to empower young women, and his program's still going on today that they're sponsored by Adidas. So just his ability to be able to just empower me and my sister, and then as well as just empower the young women that he's been able to come in contact with.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing about basketball, just because I've had a lot of former URI men's and women's basketball players on, I just think that's so cool about the sport of basketball is that, it really connects and it brings a sense of community together. You talk about your uncle and, creating this AAU team and the fact that you're able to be sponsored by Adidas. I think that's really cool because you're able to meet so many different people along the way and travel and really do what you love. So I think that's so cool. I mean, really just in any sport, but we see it so much in basketball, this sense of community that brings so many people together. And I'm sure Rhode Island, huge basketball state, between Rhode Island and PC, that rivalry. So I'm looking forward to it again, and I'm sure it's definitely going to be entertaining on the women's side this year.
Yeah, for sure.
So just to backtrack, you started your career at Florida State, where you were a time ACC academic honor roll member, and you were with the program for 4 seasons. You did miss
Mm-hmm.
your entire redshirt sophomore season. That was your third year of collegiate play due to an
Mm-hmm.
injury. And then the following year, you actually became one of FSU's just most valuable players off the bench, averaging
Mm-hmm.
2.7 points, 1.8 rebounds, 13 minutes. What would you say was, I guess, the biggest lesson that you learned from just your time at FSU, maybe that season, when reflecting on that time that, helped you develop into the player you are now?
I would say just overall career at Florida State. I would say just persistency. I did have so I injured myself twice. So I only played actually 2 seasons at Florida State. So just being able to just overcome that and push through that the time that I was there, and being able to just see that whatever happens, that I'm able to just get over it and propel through it.
Yeah, 100%. And also, if you could just talk about, I mean, playing in the ACC is a Power Five conference, and being
Mm-hmm.
able to adjust. And I guess you're playing against some big opponents in, Duke and North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a little bit of playing in that conference and how it made you a better player.
Yeah, I think ACC is definitely like a speed conference. So playing against like people like Enrique, who was on Notre Dame, and just playing against Notre Dame when they won that year is just the speed of it between them and like Louisville, and just the high caliber of basketball. And even when Coach Reiss was at Syracuse, playing against just talented guards there. So just being able to bring that type of experience and type of just playing at that level to URI is what I hope to do.
Yeah, and that's great too. Now that you're playing for Coach Reiss, someone who played for Virginia and coached at Syracuse, she sort of has that ACC mindset. She has a good idea of what players she wants to bring in, and obviously you having that background as well. So I think you'll definitely be a good fit. But moving on, last season, making your way to another Power Five conference in the Big Ten as a redshirt senior with Rutgers, you played all
Mm-hmm.
31 games, 18 starts, averaged 4.8 points, 2.2 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and actually you were 15, excuse me, in the conference in steals with 1.5 per game. So I guess just
Mm-hmm.
same question when reflecting on this past season and the success that you had. What was something you maybe learned that helped you develop into, again, the player you are now? Because again, the Big Ten is a really good conference. So going from the ACC to the Big Ten, you're really going up against some good opponents and really being put to the test and thrown into the fire.
Yeah, I would say just building my confidence over the time. Like at Florida State, it was a lot of me battling injuries and stuff like that. And so I think Rutgers got me able to just build my confidence there a little bit, and especially against the high caliber, like you said, against Big Ten kids. So just being able to build my confidence there and still playing at an extremely high level, and doing the things that I was doing there.
Yeah, 100%. Was there a game last season that stood out to you? I guess that, when just reflecting on this past year, that was a game that you will remember from Rutgers?
The game, I would probably say either when we played Ohio State, at Ohio State, or when we played at Illinois.
Gotcha. What was it about those two games that I guess just stand out to you when reflecting on this year?
At Ohio State, I was hitting shots. It's always good to make shots. So,
Yep.
at Ohio State, I was hitting shots. And Ohio State's a really good team. Like they made it to like the Sweet 16 this year. So,
Mhm.
and they have a really good guards and stuff like that. So playing against them, and then at Illinois, I feel like that I had a more overall game. And I was scoring, I was assisting, and playing defense. So I think that was more of a well-rounded game. Ohio State, I just was making threes. So
Yeah,
I like
so
that.
it's good. I'm sure you'll continue to carry on some of that success this year. But actually, moving on to URI as we continue to
Mm-hmm.
move along here, you're joining the University of Rhode Island now. Can you just talk about what went into that decision and also what you liked about Coach Reiss and her staff, as well as just the program itself?
Yeah, so my sister, she actually was at URI a few years ago. So I've been around the campus a few times when I was with her. So just the familiarity of the campus, familiarity of just being in the area, of knowing what the school's like to a certain degree, because I didn't really go ahead, but just knowing from her experience, how much she loved just from the trainers, from Mike Evan to the strength coaches, stuff like that. And then Coach Reiss, like you said, she's just a ball of energy. She just really gets you going. And I just love her. I love the coaches and just the stuff that they're able to pour into us. They pour whatever they can into us to get us to the next level, to be as best players and people as possible. And then just the vision that she has for us. Like you said, she has some A10 stars between like Madison, Emma, and Tenen. So being able to just bring people together and push us to where we think we should be this year.
Yeah, I really think depth-wise, you guys are getting better. And the thing that I love about Coach Reiss is just that she makes her presence known. I mean, like everyone in the Ryan Center knows that she's there. Like on the sideline, she's getting the fans into it. She's getting her players into it. She's really a big motivator, and I feel like that's just what makes the best head coaches. I haven't had the chance to interview her yet, but I'm working on that. Hopefully, I can have the chance to talk to her. But she's great with the media. She's great with the fans. She's great with the players. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys can do. Last year it was very difficult losing the first round in Delaware. So I know you guys definitely have a chip on your shoulder, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. This will be my senior year, so I'm hoping she'll bring an A10 title back. But I guess just sticking with that, what is the biggest goal for you in this upcoming season?
Biggest goal, I would say NCAA tournament for sure. And in order to get that, you gotta win A10, be a real competitor in the A10. So I think NCAA for sure, and A10 championship.
Yeah, 100%. The A10 is a 2-bid league, so I know last year Rhode Island made it to the NIT, but definitely have to finish in that top 2% and try and do it in the tournament. But like I said, I like how you guys like as a team. But moving on, I do have a few rapid fire questions for you, so we'll jump into those. If you could just compare your game or style of play to any other player or any level, who would that be and why?
Oh man, I would like to think that I'm like Chelsea Gray, like a little slower but gets his job done.
Okay. Why Chelsea?
Because she just impacts the game with her ability to like see the floor. She passes, she scores. And she's not the fastest thing in the world, so that's what I like to. I'm not the fastest either, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, 100%. Your go-to pregame song?
Probably like any Rod Wave or NBA YoungBoy song.
Okay. Anyone that sticks out or just anything?
Really anything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I like YoungBoy. Toughest player you've had to guard throughout your career?
Toughest player would probably be either Enrique Gunwale from Notre Dame or Tiana. I can't pronounce her last name, but the one that was at Syracuse with Coach Reiss.
Okay. Your go-to like Rhode Island spot, like where are you hanging out just in the state? Is it the beach or are you going to grab a bite somewhere? Like what is, I know you haven't been there for that long, but what is like your...
I might say Gary Hall because I haven't been anywhere, but I like, it's called like TLC's, the coffee shop. Coach Schoenecker took us there one time and I like it there. So
yeah, it's a good spot. It's right near campus too.
Yeah.
And then last rapid fire question, then just 2 more questions. Best advice you would give to just young basketball players or athletes just looking forward or looking to play at the collegiate level, and looking to take on a similar path as you?
I would say just like do what you do and be the best at it. You don't have to be able to do everything, but whatever you do and whatever thing that you think you're good at, make sure that you hone on those, and that's going to be able to separate you from anyone else.
Yeah, there it is right there. What is something that you want fans to know about you that they may not know about you, or Rhode Island fans?
I would say that I'm a talker in terms of like on the court and being able to direct and be able to know what's going on. I think that I have a high IQ. So just being like a coach on the court aside from Coach Reiss.
Yeah, and I think also having all those years of playing at the collegiate level under your
yeah, like my 9th year at this point.
Yeah. And definitely being like a veteran on this team, or getting like a veteran presence. Could you see you're going, like, I guess just adding this question on, but could you see yourself going into like coaching potentially at some point?
People have told me I should, but I haven't really considered it. I'm in like the finance world, so I like math.
Well, we can always use people in finance. And then the last question I have for you, like I said, I know this program is coming in with a chip on their shoulder and have some unfinished business to handle from last season. Is there just a message you can share, with maybe some fans watching at home, or Rhody fans watching at home, as we get closer to the season, what they can expect out of you and also the team this year?
I would say just expect just picking up where the last year's team left off, and be able to use the chip on their shoulder, especially with like Dolly coming and Sophie P. Just being able to bring the new kids and newcomers, being able to help them push to places that Rhode Island's never been.
There it is right there. I think also having that well balanced, like you said, of having newcomers, a couple incoming freshmen, then a couple of veterans like yourself. Definitely looking forward to it. I hope to be at a lot of games and cover them. I do some student run radio, so hope to definitely be broadcasting a few more of those games. But thank you so much for taking the time. Looking forward to seeing everything. Looking forward to seeing everything you and the team are going to accomplish this season. Definitely hope we can bring that A10 championship and hopefully touch the tournament. But best of luck, and of course, go Rhody.
Thank you. Go Rhody.
Thank you.